This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From Reuters, protesters and police clash over Adani port in India's Kerala. More than 80 people have been wounded in skirmishes between Indian police and protesters who have been demonstrating for more than 3 months to prevent construction on a $900 million port project that they blame for coastal erosion in the area. Most of these protesters are fishermen whose livelihoods depend on healthy local waters, and this port project, like many such projects, is significantly disrupting the local ecosystem. Police arrested protesters who were blocking construction vehicles despite a court order indicating those vehicles were legally okay to move forward with the project, following unsuccessful legal challenges to the construction, and locals marched on the police station on Sunday night, which is how the clashes started, and how 46 protesters and 36 police officers were wounded. Security will reportedly be increased following that incident, and the company behind it, which is owned by the wealthiest man in India, Mukesh Ambani, intends to move forward with the construction. From Axios, world's largest active volcano starts to erupt in Hawaii. The Mauna Loa volcano, located on the Big Island in Hawaii, started erupting on Sunday night, the first such eruption since 1984. Residents at potential near-term risk have been instructed on how to prepare to evacuate if it becomes necessary to do so, and fine ash and glass fibers carried by volcanic gas could pose a problem for locals, though lava flows are not currently menacing any occupied areas. And from Bloomberg, Apple to lose 6 million iPhone Pros from tumult at China plant. Anti-pandemic lockdown protests in China have spread to at least a dozen large cities and far more school campuses. But this most recent wave of protests seems to have started at Foxconn factories making iPhones, where workers were forced to work through incredibly trying conditions, including persistent food shortages. And following an exodus of workers from these facilities in October, another wave of about 20,000 workers have reportedly quit en masse. This outflow of workers will likely further damage China's now bruised but previously spotless reputation for stability and predictability in their workforce, and it may add yet more fuel to the fire of other, more widespread protests throughout the country. iPhone maker Apple will probably not be happy about this, as Foxconn makes a lot of their devices, and this upset will mess with their anticipated iPhone production numbers, and that could in turn expedite the flight of tech manufacturing work from China to other Southeast Asian countries, especially, right now at least, Vietnam and India. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.